Ooh, it's a tunnel. See? Tunnel. Hey, you can film us going through the tunnel backwards. Wait, let me put it in reverse so we can go through the tunnel backwards. Okay. Hey, make car noises. This will be recorded for posterity or posterior or something.
Prostate. Recorded for prostate.
Record for progeny.
Posterior.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did. Please.
Is your tattoo fake? Is your tattoo fake?
So what's up, Dr. Evil?
Is your cousin in the picture?
Oh man, I'm just like.
We have a full house tonight. How are you guys feeling? Here's the deal. Our team, the Ozark Slam Team, that's coming out here tonight to do some great fucking poetry for you guys. The reason why they're late, about 1.5 miles into Oklahoma, they got stopped for speeding. And pretty much everybody in the vehicle went to jail, but they bailed themselves out, and they're here late, but they're here. So what I'm thinking is, these great poets transcended adversity to be with us tonight. So I think if we're going to pass the hat, we should pass the hat for them to hopefully, I mean, if you're on tour, you're living hand to mouth, you're living off your merch sales, you're living off what you basically make every gig. So we'll pass the hat tonight for our on-tour poets. All right. First off, we're going to bring up the Ozark Slam Team, our patron saint, our traveling sage, the man who's been here a few times before, and now he's brought a few of his friends with him. Please give a warm welcome to the first part of our Oklahoma Slam, or our first part of the Ozark Slam, 2 O words, I'm screwed. The Ozark Slam Team, please give lots of love to Clayton Scott!
Thank you, Galileos. I want to go ahead and introduce the rest of my team. To my left, Cat Fury. She's a sexy little bitch. We love her. Doug Shield, the hat on. And Russ Ritter right back there in the back. I'm going to do a poem, and then we're going to come up one at a time. And we're going to do this all for Jack Craddock tonight. That's a man I dearly love. We all love Jack. And so this whole night is dedicated to Jack. So we're just going to like slam our asses off for Jack Craddock tonight, because that's how he would want it to be, right?
Yes.
His first poem is for you, Jack. So we're going to send out the vibes, right, Tap?
Yes!
I want to live in a perfect world. Is it too much to ask? A perfect world where the Three Stooges would be Chris Farley, John Kennedy, and of course Curly, because Larry was destined for punk rock. Not Moe, because he was a mean little bastard anyway. A perfect world where farts come out like butterfly rainbows, smell like a candle emporium, where we'd all speak in French, no fat brands or health clubs, where Keanu Reeves can act. Like the Scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz, George W. would get a brain, Mike Tyson would get help. But you wouldn't have to be bright in a perfect world, or cool, or on. You could just be. No stereotypes of being fat, or skinny, ugly, or old. No Self magazine, Vogue, GQ. Only People magazine. And all of us would be in it. You, and you, and you, and you, and you. Wonderfully valued and treasured you. Where the angels would be Down syndrome children, because aren't they the sweetest little angels already? Look! One of the seraphim is Joni Mitchell, singing songs from the Blue Album. On a cloud veranda, there's Bob Dylan, singing anything he wants to sing. Hell, he's Bob Dylan. how Richie Havens of Woodstock sang freedom, and God would look like Frank Zappa. With legs like Tyra Banks, and he played two guitars, one like Hendrix, the other like B.B. King, and he belted out truth like Martin Luther King, squeaky lyrics like Carole King, have hair like Don King. Because he is the king of kings. Fuck shit! But he'd have Tourette's, just add a twist to the mix. But his throne would be a metal chair in a tree-shaded yard surrounded by a perpetual drum circle. And he'd have time to talk and listen. We'd all have time to listen and talk because there'd be no time clocks and jobs and daytimers and plum planners and all the shit that occupies our brain, like sex. No sex in a perfect world! Or genitalia, or gender for that matter. Let's just say it's one great big never-ending orgasm. Sure, no hate, war, hunger, I mean, those are givens, but what about loneliness or failure? Nada! It would be what all dreamers dream, what the beat poets wrote about, what the songwriters of the 60s sang, where even Satan would find his mantra, or get saved, or at least commit to rehab. But this ain't no perfect world, is it? About the time I think I found it, pixelates some fragments into its fallen and sometimes horrific reality, and I'm just a little weary. But we have this, you, me, and maybe if we can be real and honest, have a little love and understanding, we can capture a perfect moment. And for now, perhaps that'll have to be enough.
On October 12th, 2002, you told me you hated love poetry. So I wrote one, hoping to push you away. I love you like Sam Walton loved money. He tried to hide it, driving around in a beat-up pickup truck. He fired his executives for building mansions. But if you met Sam in the pharmacy aisle, if you looked in his eyes, set deep with the pride of poverty, you wouldn't see the tight-jawed desperation required to amass $80 billion. You would see it, but it was there. And it was ruthless. Sam Walton loved money, but loving money was against his upbringing, and loving you is against my upbringing. I still love you. Why bust a hole in space-time and walk to Mars to get away from you? In fact, I tried. I got a degree in physics to split the universe between us, start with gravity, end at the Big Bang, 15 billion years from you. There was no God at the Big Bang. No mother crying herself to sleep. No dad demanding therapy. Just a cloud of sexless hydrogen firing out lines of stolen poetry. I wanted to see the Big Bang. The last image burned on my retina before I flashed into stardust. Finally, the great escape. But then, you escaped. You moved to Houston, Mississippi. Population, yeah, who gives a fuck? And I thought it was over. Finally, I could crawl into my bed by myself and think about me again, like a real poet. Well, that's what I thought. Man, was I wrong, because the only true selfishness is obsession. See, 80 billion isn't enough. The Big Bang isn't enough. Jesse, I need you. So don't be surprised if you see me in the toy aisle. The only discount store in Houston, Mississippi, coming at you with a pogo stick. We'll bounce through cosmetics till they kick us out. Then sit in the parking lot, howl at the moon, and drink to the desperation of Sam Walton.
I will tell you their secret. They think they got us where they want us, and I don't think I want to be where they got us, bewildered. They've got us, bewildered. In a wilderness of Marlboro monster trucks, metastasized middle-class morality, miring me in mediocrity, stuck in stucco, split-level ranch hell. SUV driving me to asphalt apathy, vanity plate bragging, paid for with free will, paid for with free speech, paid for with pieces of mind, bought with Valium, Xanax, Zoloft, lithium, Thorazine, Hypnol, love, bought with Zale, zirconium, and gold-plated, setting me up for disillusioned angst and retirement community, caged in their hobbies, living huggies, two depends, in a cornfed Armageddon, where the spray paint prophecies of amphetamine avatars are splattered on the holograms of God, vodka, Arabos, snaking diesel, demon, rattle, rumble, steel, yammer up, hammered steel, reeling shrieks of dumb city tongue, railing, bewailing my ambitions, formulaic kindergarten to Kmart to corporate killing field, my flesh, silk tie strangled in nihilist no man's land, betrayed by snake oil slick pages of Cosmopolitan. I clench broken nails to blooded palms. I bear the stigmata of a cover girl grace. Betrayed by midlife dutiful divorce, I defy his compensating curbside Camaro. Betrayed by their dunk and cover denials, I defy their four horsemen. I play Ragnarok jazz for the apocalypse quartet. Betrayed by feudal fables of 50s nuclear families, I defy their Marsha Brady masquerade. Betrayed by fluorescent 2 a.m., 2 for 1, Walmart, white trash, wholesale, wholesome, hard sell, half price, impulse, bargain bin, artificiality of manufactured need. I defy their slashed price salvation because I shoplifted the voice I used to scream anarchy. Betrayed by Barbie, Reagan, Ozark, I defy them. Betrayed by silicone, LSD, Jesus, I defy them. Betrayed by HIV, I defy them. Betrayed by Sesame Street, I defy them. And I come raging in a shrapnel of shattered silences. I come for them. I come for them. I come shrieking like Donald Trump paid me to fake it. I come red-toothed, grinning like slit throat. I come for them like the plague for London. I come for them like Godzilla for Tokyo. I come for them to defy them.
Attention, please. May I please have your attention? I want your unmother divided fucking attention, and I shall have it. Why? Thank you, motherfuckers, for your undivided attention. And now that I have it, I want the world to know I am in love with Kim, simply because she makes me feel like sliced green elders and red pimentos with cream cheese all covered up inside a king-size Frito scoop. And what a feeling. Maybe you don't know what that means, but I know what that means, and she knows what that means, and we are the only two that need to know what that means. If you know what I mean, these words for her. T, F, T, tempt, T, tempting me with a capital T as far as I can see, long legs of desire, setting my loins on fire, share. And I ask myself, should you go through with it? I answer myself, you can only rid temptation by yielding to it. So into the cool water I dive right in, lose or win, indulge in sin again and again, marinating you, basing you, taking you, craving you, sending me into spiritual orgasm, follow up with physical spasm from your ever-loving touch that I long for so much in this time we have is divine. Your breath on my neck shivers my spine, and when you're not with me physically, I miss the bliss of your kiss. And even though we're miles and miles apart, you've always been here in my heart from the very, very start. And Kim, I don't know, but I believe we can be one someday, maybe someday. So take as long as you need to take it, because it takes what it takes. It's definitely worth all the wait. And as I wait, I pray, and I wait, and I pray, and I hit my knees and pray to the God of my understanding. So take these words for what they're worth. Not what they're worth to me, but what they're worth to you, Kim. I love you. I love you with everything that I have.
That was Russ. This poem was inspired right here in Oklahoma City because I'm actually an Okie boy myself. I was born at Tinker Air Force Base back a long time ago. And my father was in the Air Force. We traveled and ended up coming back to Oklahoma. And so this poem was inspired. And we'll figure out where it was inspired once I get going. We went up and up, round and round, and then needle to the sky. We could see as far as we could see beyond the end of our world. I was at the state fair. I was 15 with my friends, Charlie and Bobby. We skipped school to be there. We were free. Had a pocket full of money on the midway. With the hawkers and squawkers hounding us to come play their games. And they made it look easy when they played their games. The prizes were big and colorful, and our eyes and dreams and egos were big and colorful. So we gave them our money. Bobby, he got him a goldfish in a plastic baggy aquarium. But he gave it to a pretty girl at the state fair with the aromas of the cultures of the world, who cooked their food, wore their clothes. But we were American boys with the American cuisine. Corn dogs and a greasy, sticky cappy that was gooey, so good on the midway. And that midway led past the bandstand where the cover bands played the cover songs. Just like the radio. And the prettiest girls in the world danced and moved and grooved. We watched their hips go round and round, round and round like the state fair. That hot asphalt was like a stream that flowed into the round river of pleasure, a circle of freak shows and rides. And we rode that monster swirling, strapped in a cage. We were jerked and spun and squeezed together. Charlie bought me ram to slam to jam. And don't ever eat greasy corn dogs before riding the monster swirling. The cage, the chain reaction vomitorium with us going round and round. Fairest lady on earth, midgets, an old pathetic man with growths all over his body. But I looked in their eye. Now we were too young, but they let us in that burlesque show. Now I'd seen centerfolds, but these were real life beauties, twisted like snakes on the stage. Gave my testosterone power jump with those soft feathers touching all over the places where I was lost and looking, those tassels going round and round, round and round like the state fair. We stayed into the night just to the bright lights on the Ferris wheel and the merry-go-round with the eyes of innocent children looking out at Charlie and Bobby and me going round and round. I ran out of money, but Bobby was a rich boy. I still owe him a turn from the state fair. When I closed my eyes in bed that night, still spinning round and round. My dreams going round and round like the state fair. But now, after all these years, still going round and round like that damn state fair with hawkers and squawkers have learned to play their games, freak shows and sad eyes, and strapped in a cage, still owing somebody something, dead gold dreams and plastic aquariums, riding a needle into the sky to see that I never got past, the world that I could see. Still looking for the eyes of those innocent children looking back at Charlie, Bobby and me going round and round. Round and round like the big world. Like the state fair.
I am a demon, summoned to a doorbell. And guess what? I got men in cheap suits pimping God door to door in 32 flavors and 3 convenient sizes. And I tell them, hey guys, you know, you go 10 years without hope of redemption and 40 hours without sleep, and you will see God come swimming the backstroke up out of his coffee. And if you ask, he'll tell you Mary was really a virgin, and show you his sex-change scars, but still none of that is as good as what the runaway in the last call bar smoke will sell for 3 beers, 2 20s, and pocket change. So I took her home last night for someone to talk to. I gotta go, boys. And she and I talked for 3 hours over scrambled eggs, and I watched her eyes when she told me my life was screwed up because I wanted to see if she meant that or if it was fake like last night's orgasms. But I still couldn't tell you, and I don't know what I think about that. I am a succubus, summoned to a phone ring. I got pretty boys trying to sell me on forever us, trying to tell me that I need them and they need me. They call that love. Need pressed against need, like mouth to mouth, like wound to wound, but they don't come in 12 speeds and 3 colors with batteries guaranteed for 2 hours. They come in 15 minutes. They come and go. Plastic is forever, and you don't have to remember a name. As hell. I can't remember my own name always, and I can't remember what I think about that. I am a word summoned to the tongue. I am a voice trapped in my silences, screaming for me to let it out on paper 15 minutes ago. Voice interrupting me while I try to remember what name I should be moaning. Beige, I think. I'll paint the ceiling beige. I have a voice interrupting me while I try to remember what lie I told the corporation on the phone who wants my money because 9 billion bought and sold is not enough. They want me to. What lie I told my boss about why I won't be in when we all know Jim Beam and the boy in my shower should be making my excuses. When we all know my boss should have to tell me why I should want to be there and not here, listening to the sound the words make falling out of me while the whore drinks my coffee. But I am a zombie, summoned to alarm clock. I kill the voice and go to work. I don't know why. I go to work so the houseplants have a sunny window to wilt in, so the boys have a shower to hide from themselves in, so the whore has a sofa to drink coffee on, so the Bible men have a door to knock on. We go to work. So the glassy silence of dusty sunbeams can fill the spaces we left where we should have been living. We go to work. So men in limos that cost more than their votes can clink ice and drinks in glass on their way to hotel rooms that cost more than their souls and stand above the smog line on balconies at the flick of a cell phone, make laws in the spaces we left where we should have been thinking. But we don't think about that.
And Perry Farrell, up on stage, face to face, all up in your face and all up in my face. Making it be maybe what should not be, but force-feeding the reality of what I believe for you and me and the whole world to see. And my dogs bark like this, talking about, don't call me nigga, Waddy. Don't call me Waddy, nigga. And so on, and so on, and on, and on, and on, and on. As the story rolls on, there's a lesson to be learned here. Let's get it on. This is a wake-up call to those that are blind so that they may see with open eyes. One way or the other, you see love, see no color. There is no opinion. This is matter of fact. So why can't no redneck accept that? Did you hear that shit? Yeah. I did it just like dear old Dad. I'm your little hypocrite. I judged a man by his kicks and his straw hat. Is it instinctive? Innate? Know to be or learn to be bad? Born with innocence, I learned this hate. Just wanted to be like you, Dad. Because when you spoke, I was all ears. And I paid close attention, but you spoke of bums and niggas and queers. You see, I knew none of this as I was born. You taught and I studied the history of hatred as my heart was slowly torn. Are you proud because I'm not so proud of you and you want me to be like you? I want to be like you. So I'm not through with you because I still love you. Holy shit, man, I still got issues. Because, you see, you left me genetically with this affliction. I call it drug addiction. This disease is in me and all around me and all about me because it's all about me. Selfish and self-centered, like father, like son. Only difference here is I choose not to run. You don't even recognize, you deny your own pain and misery. I can see that in your eyes, but I address mine with recovery. So I grew up and eventually knew enough to see through your belief, to know that it's not me because I am no social status, sexual preference, or color. Pick up the love and let hate be hindered. You are all my sisters and brothers, and we are all God's children.
Wait a minute. Knowledge. 14 years old and 2 voices warring inside me. Teacher's pet loves knowledge. Preacher's pet fears knowledge. The original sin was knowledge. An apple in the garden, an apple on the desk. I stole the apple from Mr. Chu's desk and got suspended. Suspended for the flagpole on my underwear and called faggot! Ha ha! Scream, my God, it's not true! Sex is sex. It's just sex. And human sex doesn't fit into 3 dimensions. I'm not straight, I'm not gay, and I'm sure as hell not bi because bisexuals are sluts. I'm a slut. But don't hold it against me unless you're willing to hold me afterward. Don't steal the apple from Mr. Chu's desk unless you're willing to be expelled. But then 1,000 generations will pay for what you've done. 1,000 generations will suck the pus from your sin. 1,000 generations be meek and poor and suffer until a tempter will tell you how to be pure. Give to the poor, turn the other cheek, sell all you have and follow me and you will sell him. It's okay to invest in Enron while Giorgio sleeps under the L. It's okay to bomb Saddam because Saddam bombed us first. Well, somebody did. And Saddam had oil I want. It's the Christian way. There is no sin but sexual sin. Man with man is abomination. Praise God and pass the ammo. I'm not Christian. I love Christ. I'll never be Christian. I love too much. I stole the apple from Mr. Chu's desk. Banishment. 1,000 generations will pay for what I've done. 1,000 generations will suck the pus from my sin. 1,000 generations be meek and poor and suffer. But then, at the last eternal heartbeat, their souls will unite into a godlike form and glow with the knowledge of outcasts and forgiveness to reclaim Jesus for the living, for the loving, and we will never know bitterness or violence or fear. Right now, the seed of peace is in you. Right now, think of someone you hate. Smile at them. Feel the warmth in your cheeks. Right now, think of someone who has mocked you. Smile at them. The warmth in your cheeks is the blood of salvation. Can I get an amen? Say amen. And the healing has begun.
That there preacher man is Doug Shields. Hey, Tap, I know you guys are going to pass a hat for us to kind of help get us to Chicago because we're heading to Chicago in a couple of weeks. I understand Tap and Taz are going to go as Indies this year. So OKC will be represented at Nationals in Chicago. That's cool. I love to hang out with those guys. But I tell you what I want to do. I know you're going to pass a hat for Jack. Next week, I have this print that I took this picture actually in Texas, but don't hold that against the photograph, okay? It says Poetry 6. It was a 6-mile marker outside of, there is a little town in Texas called Poetry, Texas. And I'm a photographer, so I snapped the shot, designed it into a print, and I sell these for $5. What I'll do, I'm gonna like give all the prints that I have with me tonight. I don't know, that might be $25. But if anybody buys one of these, then all that money goes to Jack, and I'm going to leave the prints with you for next week. So anybody that gives $5 gets a print. So that's it. It's just paper, you know. Jack is he's like a god, you know, a poetry god in the city. So I'm going to do that. And this poem is especially dedicated to Jack again. It's called Dance of Dances. Okay, I was in my kitchen cooking scrambled eggs, right? And I hear this jazzy tribal song on the radio. Suddenly, from somewhere deep, out of the spirit of all dancers ever danced, I felt the dance rise up within me. I started moving to the groove of this audio epiphany of vibes, slowly and deliberately at first. Then I surrendered to the music. Arms like ocean waves, hips gyrated and swiveled. I shimmied as bun, turned, burned, circled, and leaped, shook like a palm tree in a hurricane. The Irish chicken, Cherokee rain dance, funkadelic disco, bootylicious funky chicken. Fred Astaire, Michael Jackson, John Travolta, now Britney Spears, and that famous Russian ballet dude whose name I can never remember. Salsa, waltz, swing, calypso, the tango, mingle, bojangles, star-spangled jump, rump, humping, pumping, bumping, grind, unwind, and time with a grin and spin of all turntables, discs, moons, planets, and stars in the infinite dancing universe. With myself now given totally to the dance of dances, the thought occurred to me, hey, you're a middle-aged white guy. You could hurt yourself. Then a voice chimed in, yeah, just look at yourself, you look stupid, you're an idiot. And I believed the voices. I was overwhelmed with self-awareness. I tried to regain control. Then another voice spoke up boldly, like a warrior in my defense. Shut up. Just shut up. This is who he is. This is what he does. He dances. Yeah, I dances! So I danced even more wildly with the band in fervency and zeal and artistic finesse. I dashed into the street with people working, walking, driving. They pointed at me and laughed and cheered. But then a little girl joined me. And a housewife with a baby, a construction worker, a postman, and a politician. But we threw him down and fired it in a fan. Soon a large group gathered into a diverse yet unified impromptu dance troupe. Finally, I asked, why is this happening? What is this? A little boy in a baseball uniform answered, this is truth. A one-legged homeless lady said, this is love, man. A taxi driver chimed in, this is the real meaning of life. An old man with a beard and really bad breath added, this is God. I looked down and we were dancing on a dark, dank, sewery pool of alphabet soup that spelled words like racism, hatred, violence, bigotry, and greed. And the more and the harder we danced, the clearer the water became. Suddenly I had to say something. One word came from the far edge of infinity. Other words rose from the depths of the invisible. They ascended and descended to join the dance of my heart as I heard myself proclaim like some wild-eyed sage, this is poetry. We are poetry. I am poetry. And this is why we're here. That's why the poets must write and perform with undaunted passion. Why the teachers must teach. Why the players must play. Why the singers must sing. Why the urologists must help people with their pee-pees. Together in unity with one voice and effort, we must dance. Each one his own dance. 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 We must dance.
This is not like me. No, to me a word is a weapon because I've been bad side of city, dark end of too many streets, footsteps closing fast behind, thinking, what was I thinking? Thinking, good thing I've got a knife. Thinking, something is wrong here. And realizing it's me. Smiling, saying, hey, what's up? Like a password, flash a smile like a blade. They let me pass by because to me, a word is a weapon. Doesn't have to cut anything but ties to fear and old anger. Doesn't have to tear anything down except the walls between us that keep us from our family. Because my family is anyone who feels the beat of bass and blood thrum of drum and bone and dances. And my family doesn't choose fears and hates based on skins and borders we couldn't choose. They won't hate you if you hurt us first, no. They'll say, wait, we don't have to do this. Because my family is anyone who says, wait, We don't have to do this. We are not our fears, our hates, our skins, our borders, our religions, our race. We made it. We can unmake it, remake it, because I don't think, I believe the only good you is a dead you, because I've seen you dancing, dancing. My family is anyone who rides a hard, slow dance beat of moving bodies in a bed that smells of sweat and sunlight and just that slant and shares the salt of skin on tongue without shame. And I rejoice with you, because my family is anyone who sees the shadows of birds skimming grass and concrete and wants for wings. My family makes wings and is unafraid to fly, or feels the fear and flies in its face anyway, even knowing that life is just a brief experiment with gravity. And I weep with you. My family is anyone who is shaken in a slow, soft slide of tears. My family has loved and lost and loved and lost and loved and lost and dared to love again, even knowing that everything's temporary. And I love you. Because I love you ugly, love you angry, love you hurting, starving, bleeding, love you living, love you laughing, love you singing, living, dancing. How I love you, dancing. Because my family is an ordinary family, man martyred because he didn't want to kill anyone. Because when pain is popular, my family won't put guns in open hands of children or grown-ups either. No, that is not like them. But sometimes, even if it's all they got, they can put bread salted with the sweat and strength of those who grew the grain and make foes into family, or just put a hand in hand, in hand, and hold on, hold on.
On behalf of the Ozark Slam Team, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming out.
Yeah!
Yeah!
And extra special thanks to some family of mine who come out and support. Mama said there'll be days like this. There'll be days like this, Mama said. Days like when my friends would leave me and no one was left with family. Days like, this will hurt me more than it hurts you. Days like, you'll understand when you're older, son. Days like, I'm the parent and you're the child. That's why. But Mama never said there'd be days like this. Mama didn't have a clue how I felt after 1,542 days clean. You said, fuck it, and used. Mama never said there'd be days like, you'll hurt so much, your heart will skip circadian rhythmic beats. You told me, don't fucking use no matter what. And just look at you now. My heart beats strong for you like hoofs of an iron horse carrying a heroic knight in shining armor coming to save the day. My heart runs deep for you like stubborn roots of red oak forests. My heart rides for you like that old school gangster that lost an entire family to a drive-by retaliating on temporary insanity, sentenced by way of 13 and a half, 12 jurors, 1 judge, and a half-assed chance to life without. My heart bleeds for you like broken glass shards in sand scampering through these veins of despair and sorrow. My heart feels for you like the callous fingertips of that blind, obsessive-compulsive recovering alcoholic. In his big book. My heart thinks of you like Socrates, Piaget, and Darwin's theories that just make sense of them without seeing it on paper. My heart aches for you like sliding down a water slide into a kiddie pool of double-edged razor blades filled with lemon juice. My heart hears you like Beethoven hears vibrations through every crevice, nook, and cranny of his own body when he could no longer hear by ear. My heart needs for you like an infant depends on a primary caregiver, because to be left is to die for. My heart knows you like when Mama knows I'm lying when I say, Mama, I'm fine. My heart remembers you like the autistic child that just wouldn't fit in and had nothing better to do than to remember every single person he ever met. Every year, every month, every week, every day, every hour, every minute, every second, in that order, in the entirety of his life. My heart believes in you. Like, keep coming back and don't give up before the miracle happens. You are a miracle. Can't you see that? I believe in you. My heart rises for you Like the sun came up on that Sunday morning before we did, that Beaver Roundup recovery camp out Sunday morning when we had a new perspective on life, because I finally mustered up enough courage to let you know I wanted to spend the rest of my life and have a family with you. My heart dreams of you like our imaginations when they said we were dreamers, but we weren't the only ones. We were dreaming of world peace. We were dreaming of sanity. We were dreaming of one day at a time. We were dreaming of you. We were dreaming of me. We were dreaming of we. We were dreaming. And just look at us now. While I'm on steps 1, 2, and 3 of 12 steps, you half steps. So for each of those 6 steps, you left 6 words for me to live by. 6 words engraved into the skin of my chest 6 days after you said fuck it and used. And if I should die today, I swear I'll take these words to my grave. I'll never forget what you said. Don't fucking use no matter what.
Jesse Corey gone, 16 years old, with blood in his eyes and his eyes in a windshield, learned that death isn't sudden. It starts in your fingers, moves up your arms, your pulse fades until your lungs relax. But your brain doesn't die when your body dies. You have 6 minutes of oxygen, 6 minutes of consciousness. For 6 minutes, you feel a sense of permanence. The last thing Jesse felt was his mother's breath on his cheek. For Jesse, death was pleasant. His vision faded down to a spot in the distance, and then he was in that other place. A long meadow after a rain. Jesse strolled along, no worries. His granddad came walking toward him. Jesse, he said, it's not your time, he said. You must go back. Ambulance. Needle stab your liver, needle stab your heart, needle stab your feet. Death was pleasant, coming back as a bitch. Jesse told me about his death, and then about his granddad, whose pulse faded on the bed, and his grandma fell to the floor, shrieking. 6 minutes of consciousness. The last thing Granddad heard was 6 minutes of shrieking. And Jesse asked me a favor, and I'm asking it of you. If someone dies in your arms, before you grieve, before you cry, stay with them. 6 minutes of consciousness. And make that last journey pleasant.
Let's give it up for the Ozark Slam Team. We got Russ Ritter right there. We got Kendra Croddy here, and we got Doug Shields. I'm going to do the final poem for the Ozark Slam Team tonight. Again, it's always good to come to Galileo's. I really, really appreciate Tat and Bob and Taz for carrying this thing through the years. You guys have the most kick-ass poetry venues in the entire nation. I brag about this place everywhere I go. And I love this place. And we do have some product. We've got T-shirts and all kinds of stuff. Doug's got some chapbooks over here. I've got a CD, and again the prints. Buy one of those, and all that's gonna go to Jack. All right, this will be our last poem. Then we're gonna have open mic, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Some great poets here. I can't wait to hear some OKC poets. Once upon a time, there were ordinary cars, pickups, and Volkswagens. Then came the SUV, and now we have Hummers. Hummers. The $70,000 Hummer, people, is not a domesticated automobile. It is a candy-coated military vehicle. Can we not get it? Well, I tell you what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get me a tank. An M1 fucking tank. And I'm gonna paint it baby blue with white little daisy flowers all over it. 'Cause yeah, Paula's on CNN. She didn't get to go to Iraq to be embedded as a journalist, so she would like be embedded with me in my tank. Because that sexy little bitch needs to be embedded with me. So there I am on the Washington Mall, and I point my barrel at him. All the branches of government. I say, okay, boys and girls, get your pins out. There's going to be some changes. And they say, but who are you? And I'd say, I'm Queen Latifah. And if you don't do what I say, I'm going to start blowing some shit up. And while it's still fresh on our minds, let's remember we just went to another nation and conquered it. Surely that means we can conquer some shit in our own nation, like poverty, homelessness, unemployment. Sign that, conquer that. While we're doing stuff, let's legalize marijuana. And quadruple teachers' wages. And sanitation workers, because I feel sorry for those dudes. And while we're doing stuff, let's do something with North Dakota. I mean, who the hell wants to go there? Why don't we just, like, enclose the whole state and make it a Disney dome? But by then the Marines would be there, and they point their laser beam at me and they say, "We know who you are, Clayton Scott. Cease desist, come out of the tank." And I say, "But I have Polizani in bed with me." And they say, "Oh, okay. Well, send that sexy little bitch out first." And I play like I was going to surrender, but I really wouldn't surrender. And instead of raising my hands up, I'd take my barrel and I'd like raise it up real slow. And I'd say, "Choking all this, motherfuckers!" And then I would take my magic hula hoop like Frodo and I'd throw it over my barrel and I'd disappear and I'd become a transformer and I'd morph into a hovercraft and I'd fly away and I'd land in an Arizona desert and I'd get out of the tank and blow it up. And me and Polizan would be walking hand in hand into a beautiful red and orange sunset. And there'd be a little boy there, like in the Terminator movies. And he'd say, "Hey, Clayton Scott, hey, you're my hero, man. I want to be like you." And I'd turn around to him in slow motion and I'd say, "Nah, kid, you don't want to be like me. You want to be like your Uncle Freddie, because he's cool." And I'd turn around and I'd walk off and he'd say, "But Clayton, where you going, man?" And I'd say, "I'm going to go right over there to that there gas station. Take a piss. Because I've been in that tank for a long time." Oklahoma City, Arkansas loves you guys. Thank you very much. Tap.
Jawohl, guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren. My name is Herr Dr. Helmut Schnickelgruber aus der Schnickelgruber Society for the Preservation of All Things. The past few weeks, the citizens of Fayetteville have struggled back and forth, slinging mud over an issue regarding what is art and what is not. The Schnickelgruber Society has decided to help. We are here to explain that artists are not the experts in art. Artists are but mere bohemian peasants addled with addictions who possess an innate ability to manipulate physical objects into things that may or may not be, are not the experts either. Viewers are but mindless sheep requiring constant streams of audiovisual stimulation, and we must protect them from these dangerous forms of said media. Society needs a panel of Third Reich. Shorty, that is not what I meant to say. What I meant to say is society needs a third-party panel of experts to decide what is acceptable as art and what is garbage.
The newly appointed Minister of Propaganda, Goebbels, organizes the fight against free speech.
This is where we come in. We are the experts. We will tell you what you should watch and what you should not. Soon, not only in Northwest Arkansas, but in the entire world, no longer will viewers have to see images that they do not wish to view. The artist will at first protest, but we must show them that they are not viewers. Art was not meant to please the artist. Art is intended for, well, for the first and foremost priority of art is to ingrain ideas into the people who know nothing. In the style of the great Leni Riefenstahl.
Don't worry about the truth. I will put the words in your mouth.
The viewers do have a right to see the things that they want to see. However, some viewers actually say that they wish to view this scheußlich Müll. However, the second priority of art, and here I quote in a brilliant piece of prose by Herr Mike Masterson, is to draw the best and brightest executives worldwide who are constantly being recruited by our major corporations. Yeah, implanting proper ideas in the heads of the informed citizens and selling. The only two reasons for art. Good citizens should not have to reach up and change the channel as this Abbey of the Lemur offers up, as they suggest. 9. How would they know? They are not artists. They are not experts. We are trained in the expertise of art. They are not. They are not even educated. Time, we wish to commend the grand efforts of Herr Bob Emmenegger and Herr Mike Masterson for pointing out to the people of this community that they are too stupid to decide what they want to watch on their own televisions. Gentlemen, we salute you. Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! With our grand efforts and the efforts of Herr Emmenegger and Herr Masterson and their ilk, no longer will the citizens have to view art that they do not want to view. From now on, the world, when we have enacted our new world order, the citizens of the world may view good and clean art mit kein Schweinkopf, mit kein Schweinkopf, mit kein Schweinkopf!